Now, real quick, y'all, if you ever felt like you were a failure of a parent, your kids are doing some wild shit, just remember you are not the mother of Darrell Brooks. So, yeah, today we're going straight into the Darrell Brooks trial, and we're getting basically an insight to his mother and her excuse for this man trying to go down the mental illness route, the mental health route. I have a few comments about the whole mental health as an excuse movement, but we're going to get to that. Let's get straight into this. It's a Zoom call. Let's see what's going on.
Is this your mom? All right, so I can see Dawn Woods on the Zoom. Miss Woods, can you hear me?
Yes,
First and foremost, hold on.
ma'am, I can hear you.
Woods.
Backing it up. Is this your mom? Okay, right? Darrell Brooks is like, yes, that's my mommy. Look at his face. This is the first time we're not seeing sarcasm in his eyes. We're not seeing anger. He's just a docile, relaxed Brooks. What happened to all the irritation, the anger, the smartness? But the thing is, I can tell that this woman, I feel like she's the type that'll just bail you out of a situation. Mommy will take care of it for years until it became something that, she couldn't take care of.
Miss Woods, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
All right, thank you.
Look at him taking the mask off and no one had to ask him. He's like, hi, mommy. I missed you. Can I come live in your backyard again?
I know you have your camera on. You're unmuted. There are two other individuals on the Zoom. They currently have their cameras off. I believe they're both muted. I would just simply ask that we...
Hey, y'all. I know you guys remember the Zoom era. It doesn't matter if you worked for government. It doesn't matter if you went to school. It doesn't matter if you had relatives across the country going through something with COVID. You were using Zoom for something. It was a terrible time because I absolutely hated Zoom and I hated having to join Zoom calls. Like, why can't we just use FaceTime for everything, guys? Or at least Skype would have been better than Zoom. I kid you not. I just don't like Zoom.
We take one person in turn. You are on the Zoom. It is viewable in the courtroom. I want to acknowledge, ma'am, I did receive what I believe is a written statement that you faxed.
Who is this person?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and then if that is, I'm not sure who joined us at the moment.
Is that another Brooks supporter? That'll be two in the building because I don't think anyone else came to speak out on behalf of Brooks other than his mom. I mean, and who would have, to be honest? Like, the guy is an asshole. He doesn't even have friends, I bet.
All right, is that Ms. Edwards? All right, Ms. Edwards, if you could please, I'm going to have Ms. Woods talk first, and then I'll have you next. If you could keep your camera off and your microphone muted until it's your turn to talk. That way I can give my full attention to Ms. Woods.
Sure.
Oh, we have two in the building, folks. We have two supporters. We have two Brooks supporters. That woman has to be blood. I swear to you that she has to be blood. If she's not, I don't know about her life choices.
There we go. Very good. Thank you. All right. So once again, Ms. Woods, I believe you sent in a fax yesterday. Is that right?
No, I believe it was this morning.
Oh, this morning. All right. I have
Yes,
that,
ma'am.
and I've read it. Go ahead. What would you like to tell the court? And thank you for being with us today.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon.
All right, here it goes. Now, this is the mom of Darrell Brooks. Dawn. It's not Brooks. I think I made a mistake. It's Dawn. I don't really even care to know. Dawn Woods. Let me stop playing. But yeah, she's out here getting ready to make a plea on behalf of her son, Let's see what she's got to say.
I have two things I would like to tell. One is a written statement, Your Honor,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have a poem I would like to read after my statement, if that's permissible. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Mental illness affects everyone.
Oh,
It
God.
destroys-
Oh, my. We start the speech off with the words mental illness. She's going hard. She's going straight for the jugular. She doesn't pad things around. No, straight into the mental illness. Let's get into this, guys. Let's get right into this mental. Don Woods, everybody. Don.
It's lies, families, and hurt society. For far too long, it's been a dirty little secret in families that no one wants to talk about. Mental illness is the elephant in the room that so many pretend it's not there. People who suffer from it are often shunned by families and friends, rejected by society, and made fun of, the subject of bad jokes, ridiculed, and judged on YouTube, podcasts, Facebook.
Shout out people judging them on YouTube and podcasts, man, because guess what we're doing? We're out here judging him after he's already been judged. Nah, but like, come on, lady. You can't say bullying turned this guy into that. I'll tell you why. Because he was already an asshole dealing with this underage girl for years. He had a track record. That's why. He has a track record of being an asshole, being an abuser, being a manipulator. And it's not like this man is 20, 22, 24. He's in his 30s, bro. This is not something that he just made a mistake on. He made this decision to drive down that parade. And okay, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He had no idea there was a parade there, right? After you almost hit, because I think there's a witness that said the car almost hit him, and that's when it first came through. After you almost hit somebody and you realize you fucked up, you're dead center of a parade, just stop the car. That's what you do. But no, he made the decision to continue. And there's no mental illness in any of that. So bullying, any of that shit, get out of here with that.
Other media posts used in campaign ads, disrespected, stripped of their dignity. No one cares. No one sees their pain or hears their cries and pleas for help. They are the forgotten ones and viewed by many of not having a place in society.
Bro, he had a place, all right. He had a YouTube up. He was making rap music. He had his little guys, trying to look like a gangster. He had his little underage, which is now of age, girlfriend who he beat on. He wasn't rejected by society. He was well in that thing. And guess what he was doing? He was the one messing society up, not the other way around. Society wasn't attacking Mr. Brooks. She's making it sound like all his life he's been fighting. No. All his life he's been an asshole and a manipulator. And he just took it too far this time. And sure, he messed up. But hey, when you run into one person, then you run into two people, then you run into three people, and then you just continue on, then there's something, there's something wrong there. You're making a decision to continue. Go to jail.
It is no fault of their own that they have become ill and began to change from the person we are.
And she knows what she's saying isn't gonna do nothing, and she knows that he's wrong in her heart. But what are you gonna do, right? You gotta band together for yours, right? But to be honest, I just wouldn't have showed up. My boy would have had to handle that by himself. Just saying.
Are new, once viewed as fun, loving, and kind, are now the outcasts of society. We say what's wrong with society? They're idiots, unfit. They need to be disposed of, thrown out with the rest of the trash. They serve no purpose.
No. See, Darrell Brooks needs to be thrown out with all the rest of the trash. Not people with mental illness. Not people who got bullied in high school. No. We're talking about Darrell Brooks. He needs to be thrown away with the rest of the trash.
The saying, my brother's keeper, doesn't apply to them. And the Bible, in the book of Philippians chapter 2, verse 4.
This lady actually I'm going to stop pausing. She actually brought religion into this. Lady, God is looking down at you and smiting you. He's putting so much smite on top of your name right now. Get the hell out of here. Don't put that on God. Don't start reading scriptures out here. Please don't, because God didn't put him in that situation.
It says, let each of you not look only to his own interests, but also the interests of others. Mental illness caused them to do the unthinkable.
Mental illness causes you to do the unthinkable. Oh, like drive down the parade? Hey, you know what? I'll give her that. If someone was really mentally ill and didn't know how to drive and was put behind the wheel of a car, maybe he would have ran through a parade on accident. The difference is Brooks is coherent, representing himself. There is a lapse here, guys. He's going to represent himself. I think he's this is before the trial starts. He's coherent to represent himself. Stop it.
They must be punished. Yes, I agree. There should be some accountability
Okay.
for their actions.
What's that then?
But we also must render help. What good is punishment without correction to prevent the act from happening again?
Hey, I'm all for correctional facilities and corrections in the right way. You know, I'm from Belize, right? My dad used to work as a counselor in the Belize Central Prison, right? It's the only prison in the country. And it happens in the United States too. I just know about the prison system in Belize. They actually have people who go in there murderers. You know, they killed their ops. They murdered their enemy. They shot at somebody, accidentally killed them. They go in there, they get jobs, they work, they go to the counselor, they talk out their problems, and I actually can tell you that rehabilitation is 100,000% possible. Some of the men that came out, I still talk to today, because my dad was like, really, like, if he meets somebody and they become close, it's kind of like I'll know about them. So there's one guy, I'm not gonna say his name, probably wouldn't want me to, but I still talk to him today. And he's just normal in society after doing like 15 years for murder. Just normal, doing his thing, got his girlfriend, got his little baby. I feel fully safe around him, all that, right? But there's certain people back there, it happens, it's in the US, it's in Belize, it's in everywhere else, that can't be reformed. I'm sorry. I know some people say like, oh yeah, everybody could. There are certain people back there that are just too far gone. And my dad would tell me, like, yeah, son, like, you know, yeah. And he would kind of give me that look like, yeah, you know, it's not worth it. He's too far gone. Brooks is too far gone. So the whole speech about, oh, but something needs to be done. We shouldn't cast them aside. No. Cast them aside. Throw him in there. Lock him up. Throw away the key. He's too far gone. I know it when I see it, bro. It sounds really bad, but I mean, you think a 30-some-year-old is going to change his... Oh, it can happen. But you think a man like Darrell Brooks, 30-some years old, is actually going to change? Actually be able to be reformed and come out? Hell to the no. So, yeah. Sorry, Miss Dawn. Miss whatever your name is.
And in their cases, or many of their cases, treatment, therapy, medication, hospitals, and institutions that specialize in helping those who suffer with mental illness need to be offered.
And give them a lobotomy. Go old school on them. Just give them a lobotomy. Snip. That'll work. That's the only treatment I feel like is worth giving to your boy.
And I believe these places can help those who suffer become mentally well.
No. I mean, some people. The thing is, we're not dealing with someone mentally unwell. Okay? We're dealing with an asshole, simply put. A narcissist. A narcissist and an asshole. We're not dealing with mental unwellness. We're dealing with what I just said. So, come on now.
I believe lawmakers and society as a whole need to recognize mental illness. Mental illness cannot be eradicated with prison bars. Mental illness is going to always be there.
I 100% agree. I agree with you on that, Miss Dawn. Putting mental illness behind prison bars won't really fix the issue. It's a good thing he's not mentally ill.
is invasive. With treatment and therapy, medication, and hospitals and institutions that specialize in the treatment of mental illness, it can be controlled. What else can we do as a society to help those who suffer from mental illness?
Hold on, dog. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to shout. I'm not trying to bust her bubble or nothing. But do you see that sheet behind her? I can almost bet you $100 out of my pocket that that's just junk and bullshit that she covered up before the Zoom call. That was the least nasty part looking at the house, and she just woof, put a sheet over it to look presentable. That's just my assumption, but I don't know. I don't know about this lady. I don't get a read on her. She kind of seems like she's just really on his side. I don't see how, like, if my mom found out that I ran through a parade intentionally, I don't think she would really be on my wave. You know what I mean? I don't think she would really be on my side. She might silently support me, but she would damn sure wouldn't go up there and say, "Oh, he's mentally ill." Since when was he mentally? Come on.
How about showing a little compassion?
Oh, hold on, back it up.
And so, how about those who suffer from mental illness? How about showing a little compassion, empathy, some understanding?
Whoa. Now this is some shit where I'd send my sister at her. I'd be like, "Hey, go get her, go get her." If I knew that lady and she said some shit like that to me, and I was one of them family members, oh, go get her, fuck her up. She said, "How about some compassion?" Then she swerved back around. She did another block and she said, "Some empathy." The nerve of this lady. How about have some compassion and empathy for the dancing grannies? How about have some compassion and empathy for the kids that got ran through by? Like, come on. That's crazy. That's her craziest statement right there. That's probably the title of this video. How about some compassion? That's the whole title right there. Wild.
Families need to advocate for those who cannot speak for themselves or who struggle to understand what's happening to them. Lawmakers should support by providing resources to individuals so they can get the help they need. Now, I've been dealing with mental illness for over 30 some odd years.
Oh, you're
And
mentally
here's
ill
my
too?
take on it.
Okay.
And I think I have a little insight on it.
You seem pretty good to me. I ain't gonna lie. You seem pretty sharp there, ma'am. So, are you allowed to drive? Can you pay your own bills? Do you need a caretaker? Like, what kind of illness do you have in the mental, ma'am? We really want to know. Tell us.
From the surface, I believe that treatments need to be offered. I believe that
Wait. What mental illness have you been living with? This is your son's life, ma'am. Get into detail. See? Bullshit. He's a bullshitter. His mom's a bullshitter. She's just older and better at it.
treatment is offered early when the signs of mental illness first shows, and it's addressed and stayed on top of instead of let people lagger and fall through the cracks. Just maybe there would be less court cases and less people crying because their loved ones was hurt or was injured or killed because someone of mental illness attacked them. Maybe that needs to be
Oh
done.
my God.
Treatment needs to be done early and right away.
So instead of blaming her son, who intentionally and willfully drove through the parade, she's going to say that it's the government's fault. And that, guess what? If you put these things into place, he wouldn't have ran through the kids and the families, and they wouldn't have been sad and crying. Literally what she's saying. Like, if you were to take off the the wannabe professionalities on her little speech, this shit would be raw and disrespectful damn near. Have some empathy, have some compassion. Bro, that needs to be put on a shirt. She needed to wear that. If people put that on a shirt, see how people receive that with Brooks's face up there. See how people receive that. Have some empathy. Go around walking with that shit. See what your friends tell you. Your friends will quietly walk over and say, "Girl, take that shit off. What are you doing? I know that's your son, but fuck him. He's crazy. Come on now. Get out of here, girl." I
And
hope Dawn
stay
is seeing this
upon,
shit.
and not let people fall through the crack holes, and not be shunned out the door as the saying, you don't have a mental illness, you're just a bad person and needs to be locked up. Jail is not the only answer. Help, treatment, hospitalization, and medication, it plays a big role in preventing this where we are today if it would have been offered sooner.
Okay,
Now,
so we hammered home that it's the state's fault. It's the country's fault. You know, all all murder is our state's fault. Little golden nugget there for you.
I have a poem that I have adopted, not just for my son Darrell, but for all the people who suffer from
Keep in mind, keep in mind, this is the first time she said his name and called him out. Now, Mr. Sovereign Citizen, who doesn't consent to being called that name, should already be objecting. I object. I object, mother. I do not consent to be called that name. Who is that man? It's not me. I'm a sovereign citizen.
mental illness, and I let this be my theme and some inspiration. And I hope that Darrell will find strength in this poem. I sent it to him, and it's a poem that was written by the late great Maya Angelou. I don't know if you're familiar with her
Oh,
writings.
she's putting. She putting rest in peace. She putting smile on Maya Angelou's name. Hell no, we don't want to hear that poem for. We don't want that. We don't want to hear that poem connected to Brooks. You putting smile on her name. We don't want to hear none of that. Please no. But I guess we're listening.
Brilliant poet.
She is a brilliant
poet. She wrote
poet.
this poem back in 1969.
And you're about to ruin that poem.
Totally different reason. It was during the racial injustice era, but I believe it applies to those who suffer from mental illness as well. It's called Caged Bird. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream.
I've heard Caged Bird before. I can't. Guys, go look up Maya Angelou, Caged Bird, and tell me if this shit applies to mental illness. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing it.
So the current ends and dips his wing in the orange sun rays and dares to touch the sky. But a caged bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, and he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with fearful thrill.
That's so ironic that this dude is about to be a caged shit. Ain't no caged bird. He about to be a caged possum, a fucking caged iguana, some shit, some ugly, a reptile of some sort, preferably. Nah, your boy, he ain't even a caged bird. But say he was a caged bird, that's exactly what he's about to be. Caged. For the rest of his life. Forever. And I hope they put him in, I hope they give him some, some PC. Not PC now. Some general population, man. He's fine. Put him out there on the yard, bro. It's all good. Put him out there. Put him out there. It's all good.
Of things unknown, but longed for still. And his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. The free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds when soft winds with soft signs through the trees. And the fat worms.
Oh, he's thinking about being a caged bird. Look at him. He's all sobby and tearful. Yo, I don't care if they're real tears. I don't care if they're fake tears. I'll tell you one thing. It don't look good either goddamn way. Real tears, why you crying, right? You feel that bad for yourself that you're actually crying about being a caged bird, because that's exactly what you about to be, a caged toad, a caged reptile, or you're faking the tears because you want to look more sincere. Either way, you look stupid. Just stop it.
Waiting
I
on
hope they
storms
real too. I
like
hope
long.
they real. And they look pretty. I hope they're real. Thinking about himself. And guess what? You're about to be that caged bird. I'm glad his mom. You know, that's a fitting poem for my boy, Darrell Brooks. And all those things that he thinks he deserves. He thinks he deserves to be free. You know, he feels like he's in the right. You're just gonna be like that caged bird. You're not. You're just gonna be locked up suffering.
And he names the sky his own. But a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams. His shadow shouts on the nightmare scream. Their wings are clipped. Their feet are tied. They open their mouths to sing. The caged bird sings of fearful thrills, of things unknown, but longed for still. And its tune is heard on a distant hill. The caged birds sing of freedom. Everyone who suffers from mental illness is caged.
She made a stretch. You know when you have the literature class and the teacher's like, okay, deduce what you took from that poem, write it down and, let's have a discussion about it. She grabbed mental illness out of that poem. She was like, yeah, mental illness. And that was a reach. You know what my lit teacher would say? Try again. That view is a little, what would he tell me? He would say something rude, but witty, to make you feel like a dumbass. Something like that. I can't think of it right now. But he would make her feel dumb. Get out of here.
All they want is to be free of their illness and become mentally well.
Okay.
I believe as a society, we have an obligation to help those become mentally well with treatment, medication, hospitalization,
and freedom,
or sent to an institution where they can get the intense help. And if they have to stay for the rest of their lives away from society, at least they are getting the help they need to become mentally well.
At least she's thinking about, at least she's thinking along the lines that everybody else is. He's going to be locked somewhere for the rest of his life. It ain't going to be in the institution. And I'll tell you one thing. Going to a mental institution, Miss Dawn, it's not a good thing. It probably would be worse. He probably would lose his mind going to one of those places. Have you seen a mental facility? Like, not just for regular people, for like criminally insane people? It's not pretty. It is not pretty. It's actually wild. And I think he withdrew his plea of insanity because I think he probably realized that. And he was like, you know what? I'll probably do better long term in PC. A bitch that he is.
We are our brother's keepers. And I also want to say to the families who lost loved ones,
deal with it.
And those who suffered injuries,
deal with it.
That I know their pain.
And
I pray that the Lord would continue to comfort and heal each of them.
I didn't expect that.
Thank you.
Wait, I didn't expect that. Even down to the people. Instead of saying, I'm so sorry for your loss, maybe not even blame Darrell. Just say, I'm so sorry for your loss. Or if you want to take it a step further, I'm so sorry, like, the mental illness of my son caused that. No, she said, I know your pain. She said, I know your pain. Do you know how disrespectful that fucking sounds? Your son is alive. He didn't die during the whole crash out situation. Now, if the officer who shot at him had popped him in the back of the head and he was out, he was gone. No, why did I point up? He was gone down to where he belongs, or probably where he was going. Then she could say, I know your pain. She doesn't know their pain. They were taken away without any warning. You saw Brooks going down a path. If anything, you had more foresight of this than anybody else. The lady, I give this lady a L. She's a complete L. She sucks. I'm not gonna lie, she sucks.
For me to speak.
Thank you, Ms. Woods, and I should have said this earlier. I have 3 monitors in front of me, and the monitor that I'm pointing at right now is the monitor that the Zoom shows up, so that's why I look like I'm turned away, but I'm actually watching you.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Then I'll turn next to
Ew.
Mary Edwards. If you want to turn your camera on and unmute, and then Ms. Woods, if you
Yes,
would.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I am a good citizen of society. Yo, I blame the mom. The mom sucks. I don't know what she did to your boy Brooks. I know 50% of that, 80% of that is his choices after you pass a certain age. But, you know, the other 20%, it could be some home training, some morals that are lacking, some lack thereof morals. But, yeah, that was Mrs. Brooks, you know, pleading for her son. Have some compassion, guys, for the you guys suck. Stop calling Brooks bad things. Have some compassion. That was her message. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you tell your auntie, your niece, your nephew, everybody that you know, tell them to hit the subscribe button. I love you people. You guys are awesome. It's great. You know, you're making the channel blow up. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Reading all the comments, I'm completely overwhelmed. I can't respond to everything anymore, but I'm still reading them, so, you know, hit me up anytime. And also, you can DM me if you want, like, an actual response, like, faster, because my DMs are a lot smaller. So, hit that up. It's at the bottom. Anyway, stay inside, y'all. Love y'all.